Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Please like the video and subscribe y'all, and let's get into today's topic. So today I'm going to be talking about losing friends as a pretty girl. I would say the older I get, I've noticed that making female friends is really hard. It just seems like everyone is in competition nowadays, or women just get offended by the smallest things. Or you end up meeting that one girl who just wants to be friends with you just so she can copy you and steal your entire identity. And it feels really weird because when you go around trying to have genuine connections with women, and you see that every single time it fails, it kind of turns you off from trying to continue to make friends with anybody else. Like, I'm starting to see as a pretty girl, you're going to have to get used to being alone sometimes because there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be jealous of you and will try to humble you. And just the other day, I was out and about having a solo day, and as I was doing everything, I realized truly felt peaceful in that moment. I used to be one of those people where I was so scared to go out and do things by myself because I didn't want to be lonely. But I realized that being alone or just being by yourself does not mean that you're lonely. Loneliness, like Exoticals United said, is more of a feeling when people make you feel excluded. And ultimately, I had to come to the realization that I would rather be by myself than be around people who try to make me feel bad about me being myself. I used to be one of those people where I was so scared of not having any friends or not having a certain type of relationship. So I would stay around people who made me feel awful just so I wouldn't be alone. I used to have this group of friends, and looking back, I realized they weren't the greatest friends of all time. But at the time, I thought that we were all locked in like sisters. But once I lost weight, I realized that that wasn't the case. Me and my old friends, we were like the nerdy black girl group at our school. So we all didn't really get much attention from guys, and we didn't really like dress up or put much effort into ourselves. And that was the one thing we all related on. And if we ever did get a little attention, which was rare, it was usually one of them. I essentially was their friend because I made them look better. It was one of those situations like, hey, we might not be all that, but at least we don't look like her. My friends were very supportive of my journey in the beginning. I'm guessing they didn't expect me to actually do it. And once I dropped that weight, I turned into a completely different person. My hair grew longer, my skin cleared up, and I always had a nice shape, but once I dropped the weight, I looked even better. And I made the mistake of thinking they were actually happy for me. And when this happened, they saw all the attention I got. I was no longer the ugly, funny, fat girl of the group who occasionally was the bodyguard. And because of that, they stopped wanting to be around me. And it wasn't something that happened overnight. It took a year or two after the transformation. Either way, it was very, very painful. And the way that my friends kind of exited my life, it was very traumatizing because I didn't see it coming. And I remember during my weight loss journey, I would watch YouTube videos about how life changes when you lose weight as a woman. And I remember thinking to myself, whenever they would mention losing friends, I would think that would never happen to me. Me and my friends were all locked in like sisters. But of course, we know that is not what happened. And it all felt like a smack in the face seeing them switch up on me for losing weight because it's like, damn, you don't want to see me be healthy? I was almost 300 pounds at 17 years old, and I'm 5'4". So that's a lot of weight on someone my height. And that is not normal. Shouldn't you be proud that I'm healthier and I have a lower risk of diseases? Like, why are you guys mad at me, and why are you guys jealous of me for improving my health and the quality of my life? My friends, they weren't even big, they were skinny, and all they could have done was literally put some makeup on and did their hair, and they could have gotten just as much attention as I was getting at that time. So I don't really understand where the hostility was coming from. I mean, I guess they just didn't like the fact that I cracked the code on how to fix every problem that I was going through. I've never been one of those type of people where I would complain for a long period of time. Like, I would complain for a little bit, but at some point you got to get down to business on changing your life because you just can't sit and wallow in that misery. And my friends, they were the girls who did that. They were the type of people where they would wallow in their misery. And they did not like the amount of attention that I was getting. Everything was good until they started seeing that. And I really do hate that ultimately that's the number one reason why it's so hard to be friends with women as an adult, because women are essentially competing over men. And when they see that you get more men than them, then all hell breaks loose. And it really does suck because us women, we need each other in this world, especially at a time like this. Like at some point, we got to put all of that to the side, put all the issues that we have with men to the side, and really focus on what we have going on as women, specifically Black women and mixed women, because there's a lot of issues within this community and it's dividing us all. And this is one of the reasons why I love the exotical space, because we're all women and we're sharing our experiences over here. We're not talking about men 100% of the time. And if we do, we're not borderline worshiping them and making their opinions seem like it's the most important thing. We see men for what they are, people. And I feel like people kind of lose what's important when they focus 100% on men and what men think of them all the time. Like, it's very hard trying to find friends who aren't male identified. Most women are gonna want male attention, and they are going to feel some type of way when you get it more than them. Some women just have a very competitive nature. And once I realized this, it started to give me more of an understanding as to how some women can carry out such evil behaviors. I mean, when a woman is so lonely and she doesn't get any type of attention or validation, it can be very triggering for her to see that somebody that she once considered at the bottom get more attention than she does. And that's exactly how it was for me and my old friends. Sometimes you have those friends who always devalued you and they just don't want you to have great things happen because they just don't want you to have it. I mean, there's a lot of people out here that's like that too. And as messed up as it is, you'll see that maybe your friends always low key hated you and they just don't want to see you happy just because. You know, I really notice with women is that most female friendships are really just a bunch of frenemies instead of like actual friends. Like that's the reason why you'll see a group and the other half likes each other and the other half don't. It's because they were never like friends for like real valid reasons in the first place. They were friends for like really crazy superficial reasons. And like somewhere down the road they realized that their personalities don't mesh well together. Either way, it's really really weird. I decided that I might not find that perfect group of friends. I mean, I have girls that I'm friends with now, but for the most part, I try to keep my friendships with women. I try to keep the friendship focus mostly around hobbies and the things that we like to do, not really about men or looks, because I realize like those are the main things that kind of eventually would make things really divisive. And I remember there was this one girl back in the day where she tried to be friends with me because she wanted to like steal some of my hair, makeup, and, you know, style tips. And once I gave her those tips, I never heard from her ever again. So that's one of the reasons why I try to focus on not keeping it about aesthetics either, because you'll meet some weird women who just want to steal your look and run off with it. So that's another thing that I don't like. Like, either way, you just got to be careful around other women out here. It just seems like everybody is out to get the pretty girl. And you have to make sure that you're your own best friend at the end of the day. So that way you can know what you deserve and you don't stay around women like this just for the heck of it. So yeah, that was all for today's video, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope all of you have a fantastic day.